Welcome to Beyond the Strikes, and I'm delighted to say we're joined by your new favourite fighter, Chris Duncan. Chris, how are you doing?
Good, buddy. Good, good. Glad to be on.
Excellent. Well, our first round is called From the Start, and the first questions we've got for you are where did you grow up and how did you get into combat sports?
I grew up in a place called Strathire in the Scottish Highlands. I'm originally from Glasgow. I was brought up in Glasgow from a very young age, and I kind of got involved in martial arts through kind of the interest of being able to handle myself and stuff like that. So I've always had a kind of inkling and the like of being able to handle myself and to be able to fight. I feel like it's in my blood a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, have you always watched MMA? Because obviously we're from the UK and like football, like for me and all my friends, football like dominated absolutely everything. So have you always been into MMA or have you kind of got into it over the years?
Yeah, definitely. So when I was younger, I was very involved in. Well, I was a little bit heavier when I was younger, and I wanted to get a bit fitter. So I used to sellotape like a little star where my TV was when I used to go to bed at night time to remind me to do my sit ups and press ups. And I remember doing my sit ups and press ups at night time and watching WEC when it was on. I was like, "Oh, that looks quality. I might try that." And obviously you kind of mess about and you fight with your friends and stuff, but then MMA didn't really kick off at that point, So yeah, it kind of took off from there.
Yeah, and can you remember the first fight you remember watching, thinking, do you know what, this is for me. I'd love to be involved in this.
Yeah, the first fight I actually seen was Uriah Faber versus Jose Aldo when he kicked the legs off him, and then I obviously then proceeded to watch Donald Cerrone in WEC, and he quickly became my favourite fighter.
Yeah, I mean, absolute legend. I was kind of hoping he was going to be on the UFC London card because there was talk
Yeah, so
about
did
it.
I.
But yeah, I'm sure he's got
Yeah,
one more huge fight in him in the UFC.
yeah, for sure, mate, for sure.
And your fighter nickname. So the problem, we love fighter nicknames and like the stories behind them. How did you come about getting this one?
Oh, surely you should know this by now. My opponents keep getting, they always pull out, and I think it's just due to the problems that I come across when I like. I'm not a good draw for anybody, whether you
Yeah.
be a grappler, whether you be a wrestler, whether you be a striker. So, my old manager gave me that nickname, and it's just stuck because every fight I've had since I've been a professional, bar three, have been the original opponent. So I've always got pullouts. There's no difference there for me. It's just I take any fight that's put forward to me. It's not my job to decline fights. It's my job to fight, and it's my manager's job to then make sure I've got the right opponents, and he sees the business path for me.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, to be honest, we've had such a fun week watching your fights. Like they're
Yeah.
absolutely explosive, all of them.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
The wee
outside of
ones.
MMA, who would you say is your biggest inspiration in the world of sport?
My biggest inspiration, there's two of them. I like Donald Cerrone. Donald Cerrone is a massive one for me.
Mhm.
And Mike Tyson, obviously, because of who he is as a person, he's the intimidation part and the kind of character that he like gives across.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
such an amazing character.
oh yeah, I'm with you. Like here's my generation of boxing. I remember staying up when I was younger watching Tyson Lewis. I think that was one of the first box office fights. Like I stayed up at like 3 in the morning watching that one, and like oh, absolute legend.
Yeah.
And have you heard all of the rumors around him fighting Jake Paul?
Oh, I hope so, because then I put that Jake Paul in a bad position, eh? That'd be
I think
brilliant.
it will. Yeah. How do you feel about the kind of whole Jake Paul thing? Like it's kind of split in opinions in terms of like bringing a bit more money into the sport of boxing and like fighters, but a lot of people think it's more of a gimmick. Where does it kind of sit with you?
um, these guys are just in here for money. They're into to put on a show, and they're in here to make as much money as possible, and good on them for that. And they're bringing different eyes to the sport. Like, who in their right mind, like, I know gamers and stuff like that, they've got their own niche and their own type of personality. So that's bringing a new personality to MMA and boxing and stuff like that. So it's I think it's good for the sport in a sense, but it's still a bell end.
Right, so the next round we've got for you is called the hypothetical round. So we've got a really random question, and it's a zombie apocalypse and you need to escape the city. Which fighter do you team up with and why?
Francis Ngannou, because he's slow and he'll follow behind me and then he'll get caught.
That's a great answer. Absolutely brilliant answer. Oh, excellent. Well, our final questions for you are, well, firstly, I mean, we're super excited to see you back in the cage, and I think you're preparing at the moment for this weekend.
Yeah, I'm just cutting weight just now, mate. So just sitting about, doing a couple of walks, doing a bit of running on the treadmill, and then, that's about it, buddy.
And then after this weekend's fight, what do you see your plans over the next couple of years?
So I'll be in the UFC for sure. Just a matter of time. I need to get this fight out the road and maybe one in Cage Warriors, and then I'll get signed to the UFC. So I'm hopefully getting on Cage Warriors in April, and then we just go from there. But wishful thinking's a great thing. I'm just going to get the head down and work hard, and then that will leave no doubt in my mind that I'm going to be there. So there's no point wishful thinking, because COVID's taught me that, a wonderful lesson. So I'm just looking forward to the next fight and being the busiest I possibly can.
Absolutely. Well, you've got fans in us, so whenever you're fighting, we'll make sure we're there. And
thank you.
Forward to following your career over the next few years.
Thank you, and thanks for the time. And sorry I was a pain in the arse to get a hold of. I'm terrible. Twitter's the worst one to get a hold of me on, mate, honestly. But thanks for having me on, and sorry it was a pain.